Hey y'all. Alright, so I have not uploaded a video in probably about 2 weeks. Um, I had some issues. I think my last video I did upload, um, I talked about how I was having some hard times with my anxiety and depression. And um, I am not ashamed to admit that every once in a while I get um, pretty bad off and I have to go seek help, and I ended up in the hospital. So, since I ended up in the hospital, I was there for 7 days, and um, I've been out now for a week, and I'm just adjusting to being back home and getting my routine back in order. And today seemed like a really good day to get back into my makeup routine and get a video and get it out there. So, what's up, people? I'm back. So, I just primed my face with my Pond's moisturizer. I know it's not a primer, but I use it as one. The shit works marvelously. One thing that I have been doing over the last week is I'm gonna adjust my chair. Yeah, that's better. I feel a little higher, elevated. Okay, one thing I've been doing over the last week is not mixing my foundations together before I put them on my face, but actually putting them on my face and then mixing them. And I don't know if I love it. Um, I'm working it out. Um, I saw a Raw Beauty Christie video where she was trying a Jaclyn Hill tutorial, and they used several different foundations, and they kind of like mixed them as I'm doing here, like on the face. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually applying little dots. I'm gonna have to use my mirror. Sorry. Um, I'm applying like smudges and dots of my two matte foundations, full coverage matte foundations, which are um, L'Oreal Infallible and um, Rimmel Stay Matte. The two colors are in the Rimmel, it's Light Nude 302, and in L'Oreal, it is 302 Creamy Natural. But they are very, very different colors, if you can tell. One, the L'Oreal is way light, and the Rimmel is kind of dark. Neither one of them are my perfect shade, but together they're rather close. So I'm going to use my Blender Buddy, which this one I picked up at the Dollar General for $2, but I have found the perfect bounce. Like, I like them squishy like this. I got one with my contour corrector concealer palette, and I was so excited because it had like a real flat side, and I was like, oh yes, this is gonna be perfect. Nope, negative. It was so hard. It was like it had no bounce to it, and I did not enjoy it on my face at all. But I've put an order in on, I believe it's either Amazon or eBay, because you know I buy all my shit online. Amazon and eBay are my jam. So when I get those, I will be trying them out, and I will let you know if I can find a comparable bounce to this, because they're like, I want to say, my cigarette is so tight. That's not what I want to say. I want to say they're like $3 or $4 for like 7 of them. So it's like a holy grail deal if it's got the bounce like this, because these are $2 a piece, which is not bad at all. But if you've watched my videos, my last one ripped in half, like after probably 2 weeks of use, which I don't think is acceptable. I do not find that acceptable at all. I'm going to check my little baby mirror here. See, I gotta do some smudging, some smearing. The texture on this, it's not great. Sometimes, like, what I'm doing right now is, like, I don't usually see many influencers having to do this when they use Blender Buddies. They usually just do the bounce and they're good. I don't know if it's my skin or the Blender Buddy that I use, or my technique, but I really have to go through it. Like, this gets it blended on my face really well, but then I have to go through and kind of like smear it around, because it gives me major texture if I don't. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm doing it really, really lightly to make sure that I'm not removing any product. And I'm getting all my creases, even flipping it over and using the pointy part to get the creases around my nose and in my chin. Those are the worst trouble spots I have. And make sure just that my texture and my skin really never goes away. I probably need like some like $60 foundation to get my texture to go away, but I ain't paying that. No way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Fit Me Poreless Matte and Poreless foundation by Maybelline, I believe. Yeah, Maybelline. And I'm not going to put a ton of this on. Just a little bit. I use my Blender Buddy. And I'm just going to dot it around a little bit, because the matte foundations, the full coverage foundations, they get kind of cakey after they've been on. And I'm doing like this circular motion, very lightly, smeary, and putting this on over top of the foundation that I already have on. This kind of gives me a little bit more of a dewy finish. I don't want to be shiny. I don't want to look like I'm wet or, you know, shiny. I don't want any of that. But I also don't want that matte, that super matte, like paper cakey yuckiness either. So I found that this has actually been working. Like I said earlier, I am just trying this out. This is in its trial period. I have to go back through, get my creases. But the good thing about these foundations here that I'm using, they layer up awesome. I have absolutely no problem getting them to layer. And if I have trouble spots, like if I'm really, really red, I have that corrector palette that I just got, which right now, thank God, I seem to be redness free, right? Not redness free. I'm never really redness free, but I don't have any major red spots, so I'm not going to be using that today, but I'm sure that there will be a video where I break that out. Alright, so I'm going to have to take a little break here, and I will return very, very shortly.